Hi, I am finally back for a new video. I've been MIA because I've started working at a restaurant and it just took over my life. And when I was not working there, I was starting to go back to my student job. And I just didn't have time to do anything except sleep. When I was here, I didn't film for a very long time, but I have so many videos that I want to show you, that I want to make, that I'm just so excited for. So now that I finally have some time back, I am here. I am back for you and I'm not leaving you. Do not worry about that. For today's video, we are talking about my 10 favorite books of this year so far, with a few honorable mentions because I don't have any self-control. So the first one that I loved, even though I was very surprised by the fact that I was loving it, is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I read that book because I read Destiny Sidwell's 5 stars read for a video, and I have to say this is kind of a duology. So we have the Boys of Torment series by Chloe Walsh. I don't personally think you have to read every one of them. Johnny and Shannon's story is the first one, with Binding 13 and Keeping 13. So it's kind of a duology inside the series. If you get it, you get it. I don't think I am personally gonna read Shannon's brother's story because I don't know. I don't feel like it, but I'm definitely gonna read Gibbs's story because I've been living for it. And I will only read Saving 6 if you're telling me. But Binding 13, it is about Johnny and Shannon. Shannon has a very complicated home life. She's so pure, you just want to hug her. Oh, it's about high school kids. I just have to say it because I was not expecting it to be in high school. I thought we were on a college base. But high school, I still loved it, even though I was very surprised about that. They don't seem like too mature, because there is some books that I based in high school, but you sounds like you could be 30 years old. I think it's a very well done book. I love Johnny and Shannon's relationship. They start being friends and then just things are evolving, but in a very good way, very protective, not a lot of lost-filled moments in that book, and I love that. Johnny is also a rugby player, that was my first rugby book actually. But yeah, Johnny and Shannon, I loved it. I have to say I liked the second book well less than Binding 13, but Binding 13 was really good. The second book we're gonna talk about is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez's book. I was so excited for Yours Truly. It was one of my most anticipated releases for this year, and it just didn't disappoint. In Yours Truly, we are following Brianna and Jacob. I love Jacob so freaking much. He literally has my heart. This man is so freaking pure. He has social anxiety, though there was a few things that happened during the book that I just related a lot to. They are both doctors. Brianna was there for quite a while, and Jacob, he is the new guy, but apparently he is also in the run for a position that Brianna wants, and he's friends with her chief. So she's like, you're coming here wanting to take my place, and this dude is backing you up when I thought it was for me. So things are not starting great. She is kind of aggressive with him, we could say. He does not understand what is going on because nobody told him that he was in the run for this place. Things are just complicated, and then they're actually fake dating. It's kind of all over the place at the beginning. Then they're kind of fake dating because of something that happened with Jacob's house. I don't remember what happened. The only thing that I didn't like was the way the first intercourse happened. It was kind of... I didn't like it, but it was a 5-star rate, however, because just the entire relationship was so nice. At one point they were exchanging letters. Then I did a whole reading vlog on this book, so I'm not gonna tell a lot, but House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I loved Brighton Hunt in that book so freaking much. Those are the main characters. We see a lot of them, and I was living for it. Hunt, I think he might be my favorite boy. It's him, Cassien, and Lorcan. They have a special place in my heart. But Hunt is very, very high on my if I'm meeting you in real life, I will marry you immediately list. I was kind of scared about how it was gonna be after Loving Actor, Loving in Front of Glass. I was like, you have to miss something. In Front of Glass, I have some opinions that there was a few miss. Christian City for now is not a miss at all. Then a book that a lot of people talked about this year is For Free, and I am in the team that this book is insanely good. I also read it for a video if you want to, but we are following Violet, who has to go to the Raider quadrant. So in the world, I don't know what city it is called, but there is 4 quadrants. So either you're a scribe, a rider, an infantry, or a healer. Rider and infantry are soldiers. So sorry. I had to check this because one of my close friends just started a little breakup because men are trash. Rider and infantry are kind of soldier, but the riders are better in a way because they actually have dragon with them. It's kind of like wolf and mates, but with dragons. So the dragon is like, you are with me and you become a mate. But dragons can have mate between them, and that's also a fun part. So we are following Violet, who goes through each trials to actually become a rider. The riders have the highest mortality rates and they usually die very young. It was giving Divergent and I loved it. It was so good. I am very, very, very excited to read Iron Flame, which is the second book. And I think it's coming in September or October. And the next book is also very well known in the booktube world because it is The Serpent and the Wig of Nights by Carissa Broadbent. So many people talked about this duology. So we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Then we have 6 Scorched Roses, which is a little novella about other characters that are coming in the second book. I really like the entire duology, which is kind of rare because often I feel like the first book is really great and then the second book kind of will melt compared to the first one. Pathwing was kind of divergent. The Serpent and the Wig of Night is kind of Hunger Games. Literally, there is, I don't know how many people were gonna say 100. I don't remember, it's every 10 year or every 100 year. They have this big game and everyone has to kill each other and the last one standing gets a wish from the goddess. I don't want to say much because it's really interesting to learn the world building and the different connection. There is a lot of politics in this book, more so in the second one. The first one, the politics is kind of hidden. You learn it as you go and it's just so nice. Now that we are halfway through this list, I just have to talk to you about a few honorable mentions that I just really wanted to tell you about. We have the Lunar Chronicles series, which I actually own the first book. This was a reread because I actually wanted to read the entire series, and when I was younger I read that one until I think this because it was getting really good. I wanted to own the second book before finishing this one, and I actually never found the second book in France. And then I forgot about it, and recently I was like, I should stop, only be on my Kindle and read the few books that are on my physical TBR and that I never actually read. I really like Cinder, and the second book is even better. A few little silly romances are Beyond the Net and Practice Makes Perfect by Stephanie Archer and Sarah Adams. The last honorable mention is the entire Front of Glass series, especially Hair, Fire, and The Assassin's Blade, because I read them between December and January. But the one that really stood up to me and made the 10 books list is Queen of Shadows. I loved this book in the Front of Class series because we have a lot of point of view. In this book, we are following not only Selena, but a few other characters that we mentioned through the beginning of the series, and I don't know, I feel like Queen of Shadows was there. It was just a step up for me. I really liked that book. I could not put it down. It was quite long. It was 645 pages, so it was quite a long book. I love it. And by the way, you should read The Assassin's Blade first. A book that I read this year, which I was absolutely not expecting to read, was Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was my first TGR book because I just never felt like I should read a book. I don't know, I think I've heard too many people talk about that book, but I was like, don't feel like it. And I started watching tennis, so I thought I should just read it, and it was incredible. And I really think there is a lot more to every single TGR book than just meet the eye. I also read Daisy 8 this year by Jessa Hastings. I loved Manuela Parks, but I didn't like her Manuela. But I love Daisy. I know, I feel like I love every single man Jessa Hastings writes, even though they are quite controversial. But her woman kind of rubs me the wrong way. Daisy is insane. Daisy, I love her. I started liking Manuela in the second book, Manuela, A Long Way Home, I think it is. I started liking her in that book. I didn't finish it yet, but I really like her in that book. Daisy, just from the moment she appeared in the first book, I was like, yo, I just feel something with her, even though some decisions have been complicated to assume for me, but I will stand by her till the end. Then we have Dance of Thieves by Mary Pearson. I don't want to say much about that book because I went in blind. The only thing I knew, and I'm gonna tell you, it's that it is the perfect enemies to lovers in fantasy. It is perfect. I just love it. So I'm gonna tell you to go in blind to read that freaking book because it is amazing. And the world building, if you're scared of fantasy, do not, just run and read that book. The world building is so well done, you do not even feel it, and you are directly into the story. And please, for the love of God, make more books where you're just going straight into the story. We need it. And the last book in this list is one of my recent 5-star reads, and it's Love Theoretically by Alia Zawul. This one was obviously also one of my most anticipated releases. I was so freaking excited to have this book, and even though Love on the Brain fell kind of flat, this one did not disappoint. I just loved it entirely. The storyline was so great, so freaking well done. We have our FMC who is actually fake dating on the side to make a little bit of money, and one of her favorite clients actually has a brother who kind of do not like her, and this client ended up being one of the person who is gonna choose who has this job in the physical field. It's still a women's STEM book. I didn't understand every single thing because it's not working the same way as in France, so I'm not sure. The tension in this book, the way this man act, I think he was called Jack, but he just understood her and he was patient and he was just pushing her enough to not be too much. It would not like be annoying, but he was just telling her to speak more for herself. That's what I wanted. That's what I want. I love that book. I love that book so much. So this is it for my 10 favorite books. Don't forget to subscribe. It is very important. And please like this video. Tell me what kind of videos you want me to do next. And I will see you very soon. Hope you like it. Bye.